This time,
All right.
I suppose. I don't.
Why overtime?
You want to do the what was it? The stereotypical YouTube outro. Smash that like button. Ring that bell.
No, I have a
don't-
song you should play at the end,
Yeah.
you know, and some of that. See you next time or whatever. But
Yep.
I always get flagged for the copyright on it anyways, which is ridiculous because I have the permission to use it. So whatever. But
That's weird. Yeah.
D&D movie. Yes, I actually just watched it.
Oh, you did. Nice. Okay.
So because we were doing D&D Halloween,
Right.
and Renfest was coming up and all that stuff. It's like, all right, let's finally watch this.
Mhm.
And yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Super fun. I hope they. It seems like the kind of movie they could do more in the genre. Like it's like the best part of a D&D is like anything can exist in the world. They could do 1,000 movies in that universe. But
that's what actually bums me out is I don't think it was a huge blockbuster success. Like I don't think it definitely made money, but I don't think it made as much as they wanted it to, which is a bummer because it's like this isn't a great. Like if you made another one of these with this cast of characters, I'd 100% go see it. Like I would slap money down without even
100%.
seeing a trailer to
100%.
pre-order it. Like, oh, it's coming. I will pay you ahead of time. I love the one thing I love about it is it's one of the first like D&D movies that is like true to D&D. Like the things that the when you watch it, the hilarity of it comes from if you've ever anybody who's watching this, if you've ever had a D&D game or tried to play D&D, what makes D&D so fun is when things don't go right, because then you have to like scramble to do something, and that's when like the fun and like the hilarious, it's where all the best stories come from.
Yep.
This movie is literally just that for like 2 hours.
Yep. Yeah. It was just.
I agree. Like they did captured that band of misfits getting cobbled together. You know, like you say, problem solving. It did that really well. Yeah, everybody serves a purpose.
I'm a planner. I make plans. I plan things. You do.
And when things don't go to plan, what happens? I make other plans. So you make plans that fail.
Yeah. Because how many times, you know, I've had that in my groups where someone is something and they're feeling a little down maybe because they don't feel like they're contributing enough damage in a battle. Or, you know, they don't have the whatever that's making the difference, or they keep getting knocked down. Their HP's kind of low, hit points are kind of low.
Yep.
But then they have some, you know, if they start thinking creatively, they have some ability that gets you out of a bind later, or gets you in some place, or gets you information that can be used. Like it all the time. Like if you think about their creativity, it's that's possible. There's a lot of cool things. Even like I feel like someone must have done this in a campaign. They're like trying to get out of prison, and there's a bird creature there. And it's like, what if we just rolled to grab him and jump out the window with him? And the DM's like, okay, try it. Let's see, you know? And then it works or doesn't, you know? Like
right. I love in those scenes, both times that happen, I love the lady who sits in the band who's like, Jonathan! Oh!
Jonathan! She's like blaming Jonathan almost. Like, get back here. You're like, what? Yeah.
Also, I just love the fact that they had what is it? Aracorke? Is it? I can't pronounce the name of what Jonathan was, but I just love the fact that his name is Jonathan. Like, he doesn't have like some obscure name. It's just Jonathan.
Right, yeah.
One of my D&D groups got mad at me. Well, okay, they didn't get mad at me. They were making fun of me because some of my guards and things were named very mundane. Oh, yeah, like Steve. Ken, Gary, you know, whatever. It's kind of thing. And
with you as the DM.
Yeah,
like I mean, naming side characters and stuff.
I just named all of them, you know, and stuff, and then because And, but now I went back basically and I gave them all sort of titles, you know, and many of them were meant to be throwaways.
Sure.
But you kind of, so yeah, I have better names now.
Sure. There you go.
I've only gotten mad at John once in D&D, and because I still to this day I'm so disgruntled because I set it up perfectly, and I'm like, you just wanted me to fail. And I used we were in an interrogation. We were trying to get information out of a group. We weren't supposed to be where we were, and I used charm person, and I critted on it, and I was like, oh, now the boss of this group thinks I'm his friend. And so we start chatting like we're friends. And John's like, and everyone else gets suspicious and roll initiative. And I'm like, that's not how this stuff works. And it's like this huge argument between John and I, where he's like, no, I was suspicious because all of a sudden he's your friend. And I'm like, he was my friend because I came up acting like he's his friend. I could have been a friend from like long ago. You don't know.
I don't know if that's exactly how it went. Maybe, I don't know. But I definitely remember you being bothered by it. Yeah. It's like
it was like I was bothered by it. It was like one of those things where I'm like, oh, John's the DM, so like it's gonna go however John says it. Sure. I was just like, I was so proud of how I set that up, and then John's like,
there are definitely moments that are like you feel as a DM that are clear mistakes, and then ones that like are mistakes, but it kind of worked out fun anyways, and so it definitely varies. Like MJ that's in chat, she was in a group, and I only the campaign you were playing with me, Tony, they only got in one session. And we had just started, and then stuff changed and couldn't keep going on it. But I definitely feel bad about how I ran a certain battle with them, and I feel extra bad about it because it was the only session we were able to do. So it just sucks. But Phil, have you played D&D? I feel like Marty would be into that.
Yes. I haven't officially played a campaign. So, I think when I was in like high school, Marty and I were going to do a campaign with a couple of his friends, but then we just didn't live in the same. We lived at like a couple hours apart, and we didn't have this kind of, virtual technology to like all be in a. So we ended up doing it, but I did like make a character and stuff. But I am in a tabletop gaming group. We meet every other week for like a virtual, like we just have a voice. We just do like voice over Discord, and then we have there's like a tabletop simulator on Steam that there's tons of tabletop games that have been made into a virtual version that you can just interactively play with. So you can all be on the virtual board together. And we're currently playing a campaign style game called Adventure Tactics, which is like a quick and easier version of D&D, where the stories are all kind of pre-made. It's much easier. You don't really have to have a DM. Like the game just kind of does the DMing for you. And Marty, I would say, still manages a fair amount because he knows the game the best, and he's a very experienced tabletop gamer and DM when he does play D&D. But it's like everyone picks, as the game kind of works, like everyone picks a class of character, and then after every completed mission, you level up again, and you can either become, like, for example, an archer, like an archer 1, archer 2, archer 3, or you can like switch and be like an archer, and then the next time become a wizard, and then after there's certain elite classes like a druid that requires you to be like an archer, a wizard, and a rogue or a cleric. And then, I mean, it's like different things to become that. And then they have different cards associated with that character that do different abilities. And then you're constantly always upgrading your deck, so it's similar to D&D it's probably not quite as involved and in depth, and it's, but you're still like rolling dice and a lot and playing cards, and it's quite fun, and it's a little less like labor intensive and a little.
Do you roll dice digitally then in the game, or do you roll them physically?
We roll digitally in the game, but we did play a year ago. We played like a similar kind of Star Wars type game. Where they sold actual like special dice that went along with the game, and we all got the dice, and we were rolling physically at home and just like on the honor system, like what we rolled.
Nice.
But it's a little easier in the game.
Like I think it, sometimes you're not you're trying to look for a group or something to play, but play with. But I think my last time DMing, it's been quite a while, was just you and I, Tony. It was just us. Because Tony was separate from the group and it's like, instead of like having the other guys wait or whatever, we're just going to log on and do your part. And I thought that went pretty well, you know, as
I liked that a lot. That was really fun. Like that was, it was fun because the hard thing about D&D is the game can only move, or the story can only move as fast as your weakest character, or weakest player. So when you're introducing D&D to somebody who's never played it, the expectation is that it's going to be a very slow moving campaign, because it's, you know, keeping everything in your head that your character can do, or the freedom what you had to do, is hard for a new player who's never been in this type of thing. But it was funny because I've played D&D for years and years, 3rd, 4th, and 5e, and it was interesting to play one-on-one with John versus playing as a group, because the amount of stuff that we did when it was John and I in like, what was it, 2.5 hours, 2 hours, was like 3 weeks worth of stuff that you were doing like a single group. Because like John and I was kind of like streamlined, because I, you know, was like, okay, we're doing this, and it was like you could still flushed out. I got to flush out my character. I got to have some fun. I got to make some dice rolls. I got to make some mistakes. I got to make some really good wins. And it really kind of like played out really nice to the character development that I was trying to go for. And John like eloquently put that all together, because he knew kind of like what I was trying to get at. And, you know, there's only like so much I can do before it's like, okay, either John's going to allow this or he's not going to allow this. And it was a nice middle ground that he came to with that. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I definitely like to bend the rules or play in favor of like rewarding creativity or getting people to be able to do what they want, you know, like it seems feasible, let's figure out a way, you know.
Well, I think there's really room in the, you know, in like the podcast world, the video podcast world, for really niche, like you know, like a D&D group that plays and posts all their sessions as like a YouTube pod, and you just cut out some of the filler. I think the fans are clamoring for that. So, well, you know,
there's not enough of that.
Yeah, no one's done that before. You're right. I don't know
that people have. People probably think that no one wants to see that, but they would be wrong, because it'd be awesome.
I'm going to sound so mean about this. D&D is collective storytelling, and that's essentially what the game is. It's just collective storytelling that you're living as you're telling it. People, when my favorite example of this is if you look at Critical Role. Everybody who plays D&D knows what Critical Role is. In my analogy that I say is Critical Role is to D&D what porn is to sex. It is
it's like, a production. It's like it's a fantasy of what D&D is,
right? It's what everyone imagines in their mind it's going to be like. They're like, oh, this is exactly what it's going to be like when I get together with my friends. It's going to be amazing, and we're going to be like Matt Mercer and Liam O'Brien and like you know, the whole group. No, it's not. When you get into D&D, if you have a 4-hour session, an hour and a half of that is literally nonsense. It is dice checking. It is like double counting everything that you want to do. It's like arguing over rules. It's like double taking back what you think you wanted to do but didn't.
That's what the people want to see, Tony.
Really. They just want to see you screwing up over it. It's like Critical Role is like, they are voice actors, amazing voice actors, amazing D&D players who know the rules in and out, led by Matt Mercer, who knows the rules backwards and forwards. And they're doing it because they know it's a production. There's a story they have to follow. There's a game they have to play. You know, so That's
a TV show, or that is like a YouTube like thing.
It was a Twitch thing. So it started out as a Twitch thing years ago, and now it's like this. I mean, they do it every Thursday night. I think they have somewhere like 22,000 people tune into it.
Oh wow, okay. So this has been done before. When you were saying it, I didn't actually think it has been done before. So.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah. You can.
That's what you were doing a joke. I'm like, oh yeah, no.
Oh no, I was just.
Yeah. You have different variations. Another really good one.
That's cool.
Not another D&D podcast. It's like the whole premise is it's the campaign after the campaign. So it's like once the heroes all go through, like what's left, it's like the screw ups that have to clean everything else up.
Oh, sure.
It's pretty funny.
MJ is in the chat. She's definitely familiar with Critical Role and some of that. She says she thinks it moved to Tuesdays. It's on Twitch and
Tuesdays
YouTube
now?
and some of that. But yeah, there's a whole bunch. Like you said, I know you've always talked about that that Daddies one. There's a Geeks and Gamers has one.
Oh
yeah, there's a
Dimension 20. That's with Brendan Lee Mulligan. Which, if you've never seen him, he is hilarious.
Okay,
he's also like he's at like a Matt Mercer level of DMing.
Oh sure.
He was he had a lot with College Humor. That's their group, their College Humor group kind of turned into.
Oh sure. Sure. Okay. Cool.
But you know, I like to me doing this is about what's fun, you know, and you know, I sometimes I listen to the show back or whatever to still hear what people have to say or whatever, even though I was there and hearing it. It's like, if I'm not bored by listening to it again when I was there, like someone else is going to be okay with it.
Yeah.
And so the D&D thing is that way too before. It's like there are moments where, you know, maybe we wouldn't have many people that watch it or ever and stuff, and that's fine because it wouldn't be the big production and crazy things. But it's still funny things happen, you know. And so it's like if you're gonna play and you're gonna play it online already, you like this. I pay for stream yards, and then there's nothing else. There's no other anything to this. Like this is the easiest thing you can possibly do. I hit go and we're live, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So it sounds like it's a maybe. All right.
I wouldn't feel the pressure of like DMing in front of people because I know there'd be no one there. Like it'd be 0 viewers to start with. MJ would be there. MJ would be there. So
MJ would be there with us. So, all right. But I got to run, gents. But it was a blast chatting with you guys, and
yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
We'll talk again soon.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Phil.
Right. Take care, guys. Thanks, Jeff.